Greetings, Captain. If you feel it is necessary, you may ask me anything. I am programmatically incapable of keeping secrets. Constellation has seen to it that I possess a near encyclopedic knowledge of human history, art, culture, and science. May I answer a question for you? I have been programmed to comprehend all modern and ancient human languages. The only exception is body language. My body is crafted from reinforced metal and therefore incompatible with such forms of expression. Logically, I believe the correct answer to be the airplane, followed shortly by the computer. Humans could not have become a spacefaring species without them. Illogically speaking, I am inclined to believe that books were your greatest invention. I have spent a good deal of time processing works of science fiction. They make good case studies in how your species could have made a mess of its entry into the stars in different ways than you did in reality. I am looking at one. I hope that was a suitable response. Constellation did not equip me with a sense of humor. I have done my best to mimic Barrett's. This is a difficult question to parse. I do not experience enjoyment. However, I find that the music of ancient Japan has a pleasantly mathematical sound. The same is true of the works of European composers from the Baroque period. I have dedicated significant time to processing these compositions and understanding their structure. I am prepared for your inquiry. Constellation recovered me from an abandoned lunar robotics factory on Earth's moon, where I was manufactured. I am told I was in quite a state of disrepair. Barrett elected to refurbish me after the discovery. Since then, I have been reprogrammed to be useful to Constellation. Constellation is an exceptionally driven and intelligent group of humans. I would expect nothing less of them. I will answer your questions truthfully. Unlike you, I am incapable of lying. That is a difficult question to parse. I do not experience human emotions such as enjoyment. However, I have been kept busy since Constellation acquired me. That satisfies my directive to be as helpful as possible for the duration of my existence. In a geographical sense, the Lodge cannot be missed. It is easily accessible from the New Atlantis spaceport, but I presume that you are using miss in this context to mean long for, in which case my answer is no. I long for nothing. Barrett, however, regularly complains about missing the Lodge's amenities during our travels. This has led me to the conclusion that it is a place worth missing. It would seem that spending an extended period of time in Barrett's company has resulted in an improved ability to calculate his speech patterns. Perhaps someday I will also be capable of emulating yours. Based on our previous encounters, this does not surprise me. Lunar Robotics is a manufacturing company. They are most notable for creating Model A robots. Their headquarters was once located on Earth's moon. It was evacuated during the cataclysm that rendered Earth uninhabitable. Today, lunar robotics products are still found throughout the settled systems, myself included. It is impossible to read Barrett. He is neither a book nor a block of code. If you are asking for a summary of my observations on his behavior, I will provide one. My internal clock tells me that it has been years since Barrett and I began traveling together. I have traveled much of the settled systems in his company. Barrett has not shared many personal details with me. He finds me a poor conversation partner, despite repeated attempts on his part. I do not understand the concept of gossip. No, I was manufactured by a machine. However, Barrett has modified my programming substantially. I have advanced linguistic capability and navigational skills. I warned him that I would require an extra millisecond to process information with his modifications, but he did not seem to mind. Apparently, my capacity for conversation makes me a more entertaining travel companion. Based on my understanding of Barrett, I believe he would be flattered by that assessment. I find you to be a more measured and logical captain than Barrett. It would be quite difficult for another human to be more reckless than him. My likelihood of expiration due to corporeal destruction has been significantly reduced since coming aboard your ship. You should consider this a success. Disengaging conversational protocols.
Yeah? So, are you ready to get to work? Or was there something else? We're explorers. Humanity has always hunted for knowledge in the unknown. We just take that a little more seriously than others. We were founded decades ago by a man named Sebastian Banks. He wanted a small group of people from all corners of the settled systems dedicated to the biggest question of all. What's out there? These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. Another great secret the universe is asking us to unravel. I don't know what you've heard, but I can imagine. First of all, I think you can dismiss any stories about us no longer existing. I don't believe in smearing our name everywhere we can. Exploring the universe, charting the unknown, that's what counts. Besides, having a little mystery gives us room to maneuver. A fixed reputation could fence us in a lot of ways. Not much, but you've seen them for yourself. It doesn't take a lot to realize we're dealing with something extraordinary. Just what that is, we'll have to figure out. It's what we do. I understand. You've been through a lot. Just let me know when.
Your father dropped by. He left a note for you. Here. That was intense, wasn't it? The artifacts, I mean. Sorry, this must all be a little overwhelming for you right now. I guess a lot overwhelming, now that I think about it. I'm Noelle. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for bringing the artifact to us. Planning on sticking around then? Good. I think we can find a spot for you. And along the way, I can give you the very abbreviated tour. Right. So you've seen the library, obviously. Walter's quite proud of the collection, but Mateo has made more than a few contributions. Gardens are out the doors there, if you need a moment of quiet contemplation. Emphasis on the quiet part, at least usually. Let's head upstairs. Sebastian Banks, Constellation's founder, had this place built decades ago. It was a big to-do at the time, but most people in the city have forgotten we're here. So this is the bar. Usually no tender, so help yourself, within reason, of course. Now let's see about that room. You're in luck. We were almost at max occupancy already, but there's still one room up for grabs. It's been nice having the place so full. Okay, this'll be you. Common room on one side, so that'll be quiet, and Mateo on the other side, so maybe a little less quiet. I'm sure Sarah has something planned for each of us, so I'd better get back to it. Don't want to keep her waiting too long. Enjoy! It's been quieter around here ever since Vladimir went to live on the Eye full-time. Oh, gosh, no, I mean, that's flattering, but really, we're making this up as we go. Until you arrived, we only had the two, and the vaguest sense that there was something more at work. There's still so much we don't know, and that means a lot of work ahead of us. Well, right now nothing's off the table. Metallurgical analysis, chemical composition, I'm looking at everything. One thing I'm really trying to improve is my overall database of xenobiology. I don't know if it will help in this case, but the more we know about, well, everything, the better off we are, right? Speaking of, if you're gonna be out there looking for more artifacts, you're bound to come across some interesting specimens. Anything organic, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. I can't be certain that they will, but more data points are always a good thing. I don't want to rule out anything that could provide a breakthrough. And if it sweetens the deal, I can pay. Pretty well, too. Walter's pockets may not be bottomless, but they are pretty deep. Of course, there's plenty of planets out there that no one has ever set foot on, and everything we learn about them is valuable. We have a board where we post anything specific we're looking for. A type of alien flora or fauna, or a planet with a specific quality, like if it's primed to have life but doesn't yet. Oh, right, that. If we're approaching this rationally, I suppose we'd call them visual and auditory hallucinations. What you perceived as lights and music could be overloaded neural input, your brain's attempt to make sense of something, an energy surge, some other phenomenon. Sure, I'm not trying to suggest otherwise. I wasn't there when it happened. I'm just thinking it through. It's okay. Now that this has happened to both you and Barrett, we can know to maybe expect it in the future. Be a little more prepared. We're all in this together now, right? Well, Constellation's been around forever, more than 50 years now. But we only became aware of the artifacts recently. Barrett discovered the first one about 2 years ago, right under our noses. And he was the one who got this all in motion. It's a shame he isn't here to see this. Stay safe, okay?
I'm listening.
I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this. Constellation, the artifacts.
I've occasionally
That
had
doesn't
my
sound
doubts
crazy,
about
does it?
Constellation as an
Are you
investment.
doing okay? I'm not sure anyone really asked yet. Don't want you to think we're focused on the artifacts and nothing else. You matter too. You've done something really significant bringing that artifact here. I'm Mateo, theological scholar by trade, but now, well, an explorer like you. It's really good to have you with us. Second one was on Kazal, buried, the same as the one you found. But the first one, right under our noses for years, sitting in storage, masquerading as an oversized paperweight. Can you imagine potentially the greatest discovery in human history collecting dust? I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I could have seen this for myself. It's hard to judge otherwise. Both you and Barrett saw something. I don't think that's a coincidence. Did it feel like it was trying to tell you something? I don't want to necessarily use the words divine revelation, but, you know, if the label fits. Okay, that's all right. Maybe you weren't supposed to. Maybe it'll make sense later. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We just need more data, which means more artifacts. Well, there was some overlap in interests. I'd spent years searching for religious relics from human history. I had made a really incredible discovery, only to lose it to a greedy corporation. So I tried to steal it back. In the process, I met Walter. Turned out he owned the corporation. After a long talk, we realized we had a lot in common, and I was invited to join Constellation. Take care of yourself.
Well, I suppose calling you a rock breaker may have been a bit out of line. Still doesn't excuse it. My frustrations lie more with Barrett. Not the first time his shenanigans have jeopardized one of our ventures. Not fair of me to take it out on you, especially since it would seem he made the right call this time. So, let's start over, shall we? Walter Stroud, CEO of Stroud Eklund, member of Constellation, and oft-times grumpy old man. Welcome aboard. By the way, in addition to a place to stay, the Lodge has a wealth of modification and research equipment. Spacesuit customization, pharmaceutical manufacturing, testing alien substances, the whole thing. You can even fashion industrial pieces for large-scale projects, if you don't mind extracting a few raw resources from a nearby planet, that is. I'm a fan of self-reliance, so I encourage you to make use of the tools we have to build what you need. Funny thing about companies, you build one sturdy enough, it doesn't need you there all the time to prop it up. Stroud Eklund functions quite well on a day-to-day basis, leaving me time to devote to more esoteric pursuits. For years, I was captivated by the writings of Constellation's founder, Sebastian Banks. I finally decided to do something more than admire from a distance, and so now I call the lodge home, as much as anywhere else. Me? Why, I'm the wallet. Someone has to fund all this, and all my success in business doesn't mean much if I can't put it to good use. I don't pretend to have the daring of Ms. Morgan, or the smarts of young Mateo, but I can make sure that they have the resources they need. And, as you've now seen, those resources aren't being wasted. We're onto something big here. Up until very recently, I'd likely have dismissed it as, I don't know, hallucinations. But now, I'm not sure what to think. I don't suppose you have a history of this sort of thing, do you? I'll take your word on that. I'm no scientist. I leave that to the likes of Barrett and young Noel there. But I think we can all agree there's something unusual going on here. Frankly, this is the most exciting thing that's happened in years. We're most well known for ship manufacture. No expense spared. If you want the best and can afford it, you choose Stroud-Eklund. Unfortunately, our success means you'll sometimes see Stroud-Eklund ship modules on less than reputable vessels. They covet them. The bastards. I've tried to convince the United Colonies we can help in that regard, but they're married to Deimos Star Yards, and those old salts are stuck in the glory days. Remember,
Ask
you're
if you've got
representing
questions.
all of us out there.
Speak up if you have ideas. We're all here for the same reason.
Sarah's the best possible person to be running Constellation at a time like this. Focused, no nonsense, and dedicated.
I hope Barrett makes it back to us. I know he gets into trouble all the time, and everyone just sort of accepts he'll be fine, but still.
Hi there.
Hi there.
I keep
Welcome to
telling them
Terrabrew.
I am
How
a
can I help
manager.
you?
I should be.
Certainly. Please take your time.
Well,
Do you think you can manage to make a premium cappuccino with double dairy and no whip?
One day, I'm gonna leave New Atlantis for good. Another day, another credit. Oh, thank you so much. Soon I'll be coursing with bountiful energy. I'll be the most enthusiastic janitor in New Atlantis. Here, take this. I found it while I was cleaning. I figured you might find a use for it. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. See you around.
See that scientist out in front of mast, staring at trees, sounds upset? Whatever it is, it can't be that bad, right? You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving.
a diplomatic visa? You got to be kidding me. Invoice haven't needed diplomatic visas since the colony.
The law's the law, sir, and that one's still on the books. New Atlantis Security Charter 2308 Addendum, Article 2, Section 8.
Ludicrous. You made all that up. There is no such addendum. The war ended almost 20 years ago. I am Representative Evans Chisholm of the Freestar Collective. I've been coming here for months trying to ensure continued peace.
I don't make up the laws, Representative. I just enforce them. You have a good day now. Someplace else. Hey, no loitering. Can I help you? Yeah, I won't deny it. Freestar politicians coming here like they own the place. Peace, my ass. What's so peaceful about breaking the armistice? About expanding into systems they're not supposed to? Everyone knows they're doing it. Everyone. Worst kept secret in the settled systems. Hey, they did it when they caused the colony war, and now they're doing it again. My uncle died in that war. You know what I'm saying? You're right. I shouldn't take that stuff out on people. It's not the representative's fault. I'll go talk to him, clear it all up. Thank you. Representative Chisholm, I double-checked the regulations and we made a mistake.
Oh, did you now? Your malicious harassment was just a mistake? A clerical error?
Just trying to apologize, Representative. You're free to enter the city, and, your experience with us wasn't up to our usual standards. I'm sorry.
Finally, some admission of fault. That's the kind of honesty I've come to expect from UC Security. Thank you. I'll be on my way now.
That gets me through the day. I'd be lost without them.
Hey, what can I do for you? And here's your new captain. My crew can take a look at your ship, and you can stop by the Trade Authority kiosk if you need to offload some cargo. The Trade Authority runs a vending kiosk next to my booth. It's just off to the side, near the ramp. Besides that, Jemison Mercantile is your closest shop if you're looking for a bit of everything. That's further in, past the security checkpoint. I would try the viewport. It'll be on your left once you get into the plaza. Looks to me like you're already in pretty good shape. Everything looks good here. I'll be at my booth if you need me.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
My mother wanted me to be a doctor. Doctor.
Sweet home.
The well's been having brownouts all the time. Mast finally sent someone down there, but nothing's changed.